Maxim number 49. Waving a roll of Benjamins at a woman will not give her the tingles. In fact, it will often do the opposite. A very common fallacy, a very, I would say like 80 or 90% of the regular Joes out there. You got to remember, we're a teeny tiny subset of the population. If it gives you any idea of how small guys that know game are, imagine less than 1% of the population exercises regularly. If you're running this game, you're probably in that less than 1%. And even less than 1% of that 1% understands what game is and has the ability to systematically, reliably, repeatedly move a girl from complete stranger to naked and in your bed with, let's say, 80 or 90% close rate, which is normal for a guy in our world. Again, it is a teeny tiny percentage. Most men think money is what does the job. If you have money, girls will come. And there are plenty of rich guys jacking off every day because they have no skill and they don't know how to start a skill. They don't know where, because again, it's a completely different set of skills. But waving a roll of Benjamins, and guys always think this, especially if they come into money and they haven't had a lot of luck with women. And I even saw a tweet, I think somebody put it in front of me the other day, where a girl says, guys that come into money will substitute or think that they're spending their way into a girl's attention is the way to go. But most girls, remember, what is the kiss of death? Being boring. And guys that don't develop their personality, don't develop their charisma, and believe that they can just buy their way into it are seen as boring. Sometimes they can get some traction. Money is kind of like height. It's kind of like being tall. It gets you in the door, but once you're in the door, you have to have some charisma, some game to stick around. Girls will entertain a wealthy guy for a little while, just like she'll entertain a guy who's 6'8". She'll give him a shot on height alone, and she'll do the same thing with money. And they're very comparable. They're a part of a total package. But if the guy shows up and he's boring, if he's one-dimensional, she's gone. Girls can replace guys just like guys can replace girls pretty readily. It's the rare guy that has money and charisma, or height and charisma. Very rare. And again, charisma alone, you can get a short, fat, kind of medium income guy, but with enough charisma, and he's closing anybody he wants to close. You see it every day. But just know, generally, when we talk about money in our world, what it does is it makes it easier to lead your life. It makes it easier to go places. It makes problems that would be problems. It solves lots of problems. In fact, we always talk about this, that I haven't had a problem in 30 years that more money can't solve. You know, everything from cancer to business ailment to friends and family in need. Money has solved every one of my problems. There's nothing that it can't solve. Very rare. I haven't ran into anything yet, and perhaps you will. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but again, there's a place and a purpose for it. But generally, keeping women's attraction isn't one of them. It just simply makes your life as a player easier and gives you more opportunities. And you can go, it buys you time. But again, and guys, it's funny because there's, guys are always worried about gold diggers. I haven't seen it in a while. It kind of goes in cycles. But guys always worried about gold diggers. And, you have to look in the mirror and you're like, well, I work at Jiffy Lube and I've got 3 roommates and I like to smoke pot and I got a gambling problem. Your girl is not interested in your money. She likes being around you because maybe you're fun. You guys can do drugs together. She needs her car worked on. There's all kinds of things. I mean, you serve a purpose. Unemployed guys that got out of jail this morning are all walking out to a girl waiting for them with a car that he can drive, even if he doesn't have a license. Again, money will simply open up more doors and makes your life easier with the skills that you have. But true gold diggers are in a teeny tiny subset of the population. They tend to be Russian or Asian, and they tend to run in packs. Like a couple girls will already be over, and we have like a group in Dallas, and there's groups in almost every like major city where there's money. Of course, New York City, Miami, LA, Chicago, Dallas, Houston. But there's always girls that are already there, and then they bring their friends over and introduce them. But you're not in those environments. So girls that are truly looking for money, they're not going to see you. You're not even going to run into them. So you don't have to worry about that. And the girls that the money would motivate, and guys that do have money will be straight up about this. They're like, if a girl is interested in your money, it's not the type of girl that you would want in your life anyway. But it will tend to, if you do lead with spending, which is really what I should, because you can have it, but you don't have to spend it. If you lead with spending, it will generally turn them off. Girls kind of like don't want to feel like a prostitute. They don't want to feel like the paid help. They don't want to feel like a hooker. And a lot of that stuff all figures in. So again, if you don't spend it, it's as if, and this is an interesting thing for girls, if you don't spend money, it's as if you don't have it. So if you tend to save and you're frugal and you live a very lower or middle class lifestyle, no matter what type of income, that's how they see you. And that's what level you're at. Again, it's better to lead with some charisma, fitness, taking care of yourself, being a total package. And the money just makes your life easier. But if you lead with it, you're going to run into problems. They may let you in the door, but if you don't have any skills beyond that, then you're going to be in trouble. And that's what we try to convey, because you always see guys jumping in going, well, if I was richer, I'd do better. Or, girls only care about money. And again, it's a fail-safe. It's something where if you don't do well with girls, you can always go, well, I just don't have enough money. Instead of saying, my skills are bad, or I'm fat, or I really need to get my shit together and get out and start working this system. Again, it's something to project it onto for personal, failure. So Maxim number 49, waving a roll of Benjamins at a woman will not give her the tingles. In fact, it will often do the opposite. Again, doesn't mean you shouldn't be pursuing money. It makes your life easier. It allows you to help others. It allows you to help yourself and gives you options. And it might even get you in the door sometimes, but in general, it will not attract and hold their attraction beyond the initial. So that's the real deal when it comes to Maxim number 49.